Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video tutorial, I will explain in Django web applications using db.sqlite3 database, creating a multiple objects and display into a single view page. So here are the two models, the model 1 and model 2. We are calling from these objects the table names, first table name and second table name, displayed in a single view page. That's it.
If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates.
Before creating a new Django web application, first we'll create a new folder in this local disk D drive, right click the mouse and selecting new and folder. And let's give the folder name is multiple models single view. Enter. Let's browse this folder. Right now this folder is totally empty. Now let's create a new Django web application in this folder. I'm using Visual Studio Code to create the Django web application. First we'll add the folder which we have created in the D drive. Let's open file and click open folder. Now let's choose the folder name multiple model single view, then select folder. And here the project is successfully added to our Explorer panel. At the right side we got the welcome page. Let's close this welcome page. Now let's create a new Django web application in this folder. For that we open view page, view tab, click terminal. And here we got our terminal, which is nothing but a command prompt. If you notice, the path is the multiple model single view, which is our project folder, and the drive is a D drive. Now let's create a Django web application, Django-admin start project, and the project name is multiple models single view is my project name. Enter. And the project is created successfully into our project folder. Let me expand this application. Now in this application contains one subfolder and one manage.py Python file. Let me expand this subfolder, and this subfolder contains some default Python files like settings.py URLs. All these Python files and folders has been created automatically when I create this Django web application multiple model single view. Now after creating the application, first we'll run this application. It's working properly or not. So to run the application, first we need to add our application name, cd change directory, my project name, enter. After that, Python manage.py. I'm adding this manage.py to run the servers. Run server, enter. And if you notice, when I run the server, I don't have any issues in our application, but I have 15 unapplied migrants. So don't worry about these unapplied migrants. Below that we got our web server link. So Control plus mouse click to run the server. And here we got the output of our application, the Django. It's working successfully. So which means our application is working properly on the browser. And my next step is, if you notice when I run the server, notice here the db.sqlite3 has automatically added to our project. So the Django applications, the default database is db.sqlite3. So now next step, let's add admin page. Let's visit the admin page. Once we redirect to the admin page, it prompts with the username and password. But right now we don't have any username and password to our application. So first we'll create the username and password. The username is a super user. So let's create one super user, Control C, Now before creating a super user, if you notice we have some need to apply the migrants to our project. So to add the migrants, we need to add this keyword python manage.py migrate. Let's copy that one. Instead of writing again this command, copy that one and paste here, enter. So after adding the migrations, now we can create the super user. Python manage.py create super user. Create super is a single word. Click enter. And notice here we go prompt with the username. Here the username I am adding Charan and the email ID is charan@gmail.com and the password is the repassword again the same. And here I got some warning here, the password is too short, some validation for this password because just for the demo purpose I have added one very big password here. So I want to bypass this passwords thing. For that I am typing Y, which means S. And notice here we got a message super user created successfully. So now let's log in with the super user. Before that we have to run our server first. And if you notice we don't have any issues, let's rerun our application. Reload the browser. The username is Charan and the password is and notice we have redirected to the admin panel with the Charan login details. If we check the site administration, authentication and authorization section, I'm selecting the user folder. Let's browse that one. Notice the new user is a Charan, is a super user. The email ID I have given charan@gmail.com. Switch back again to home page, and now let's add the two objects which are the tables in the site administration panel. Now to create a database objects in this database administration, switch back to the coding part again, Control C, come out from the server. Then now let's create a models page. To create the objects, right click the subfolder, click new file, the file name is a models.py, enter. And here we got our models.py. Now in this models.py we just defined to create one class and with some properties. So before that, first we need to import the models class from Django.db. From DB database I'm importing models class. Now let's create a class which is our first object, which is the emp tab object 1 object obj emp tab object 1 object models dot model column. Now in this class I'm defining the properties. The first property is the emp name is models dot char field max length, the size of this column is equals to 100. Let's copy this one. Employee name, employee email, and the next one is a salary. We don't require this one, is equals to models dot integer field Now in this first object, which is this is our table name, contains three properties, which are the three columns. I will create the table in this site administration in database. Now let's create another class. This time I'm adding the student object obj. Again, model colon. So let's copy these ones. Copy, paste here. Student name, student email, and student address is equals to models dot char field max underscore length is equals to 100. Just for the demo purpose, I have added only few columns, few properties in this class, model class. Now let's save this file, save all. After saving this models.py, next thing, the most important, we need to register these models to the site administration page. So again, right click the subfolder, click new file. The file name I'm adding admin.py, and here we got our admin.py. First let's import the necessary classes from Django.contrib import admin class. Then we need to call these two classes from this models class, from these two classes here in this admin page. From let's add our application name, copy that one, view dot models, because this models page is inside this folder. Models import, let's import the class names, which are the empt object, copy that one, comma, and student object, copy that one and paste it. After that, let's register these models. Admin dot site dot register. I'm registering the first model name empt object. Let's copy. Let's register the second object also, which is a student obj. That's it. Now let's save this file, save all. After that, we need to settings. In the settings page, we need to install our application name. Between single quotes, I'm adding my application name is multiple model single view. Let's add that one, multiple model single view. Let's copy again, multiple model single view, copy this one and paste here. That's it. Now let's save this file, save all. Now let's run the server. Now we'll check this models page, these two objects which are the models are created or not in this database. So still our server is running. And now after run the server, we don't have any issues. I'm reloading the browser. If you notice, these two objects, which are the table names, as added successfully to our database DB sqlite3. Now let's browse these objects, the table objects. When I click the emp table objects, and notice it, we got some error, optional error, no such table. So now we have to create the table. So to create a table, again switch back to the coding part. In the command prompt, Control C to exit the server. Python manage.py, right, migrate run syncdb to create the table. Enter. Oh shit, Here's the wrong spelling. THON. Enter. And see here the message creating tables. Both tables have been created successfully. Now let's run the server. Run server. Now reload the browser. See, after I reload the browser, this EMT obj, which is the table name, and also this is our model name, contains 0 objects. There are no records in this table. Let's switch back again to the home page. Let's open the student objs also, the student table, and this table also contains zeros. What we'll do is we'll add some records into these both tables. First add student object. The student name is Charan. The student email ID is charan@gmail.com, and the address is India, Hyderabad. Save and add another record. And one more thing is, by default, all the tables in this sqlite db3 automatically added the student ID, which is the auto-generate column. The IDs of each table is generated automatically. Now let's add the second student record also, Jack, ja@gmail.com, and the address is USA, something like that. And save. Now in the student object table contains 2 objects. Now let's go to home page. Now we'll add some records in this EMP table object also. Right now this table contains 0 rows. Let's enter the first object, which is our first record. The EMP name here I'm adding Peter. So pet@gmail.com, and the salary is 15,000. Save and add another one. The Peter, I'm adding ben@gmail.com, and salary is 1,000. Save and add another record. This time I'm adding Con. The employee name is Con, k@yahoo.com, and the salary is 4,500. Let's save. And now in this EMP table object contains 3 records, which are the 3 objects. Now my aim is, I want to call these both models into a single view. So for that, switch back to the Visual Studio Code, Control C. Now to fetch the records from the database, we require one views page. So again, right click the subfolder, click new file. The file name I'm adding views.py, enter. And here we got our views.py page. Now in this views.py, first let's import the package class name from Django.shortcuts import render class. This render class is used, we have to display our records, that both models, in a single view, which is our HTML page. So to render HTML page, we require this render class on the browser. So to render our HTML pages on the browser, we require this render class. After that, the both models, the class EMT objects and student object, both are in this models folder. So here, let's import from our folder name, copy this one, dot models import our class names. So copy this one, EMT object, comma, and the second model class name is a student object. Copy that one and paste here. After that, let's define the function multiple models. Single view is the model name. I'm requesting this model column. Let's define the EMT table is equals to EMP table is a object name, and let's add this class name dot objects dot all method, and second object for the student table is equals to student obj dot objects to fetch all the records from the student table all. Now this function return render method. The render method I'm requesting to render this HTML page. So we don't have any HTML pages. So what we'll do is we'll create a new folder. To create a folder, I'm selecting the root folder, which is our application name. Right click the mouse, click new folder. The folder name is a templates, enter. Now in this templates folder, we'll add our HTML page, new file, index.html, enter. And here we got our index.html. Now let's add the index.html, comma. Now the third step is we need to put this in the single quotes, comma, between curly braces. I'm creating a dictionary to display the records. So dictionary contains key and values. Here the key is, first one is a table name, the model name, between single quotes, the model name, colon, and the value is a EMP table, comma. The second key value is a student object, which is our class name, colon, student table. Copy this one and paste here. That's it. We have written the coding part to fetch both the records from the DB sqlite3 database. Now let's save this file, save all. Now switch to the index.html page. Let's add the HTML code doc type. I'm closing the HTML tag. Inside the HTML, I'm adding the header section and the title, title, multiple models into a single view. After the header section, I'm adding the body tag. Inside the body, I'm adding center tag. In the center tag, I'm adding the h1, how to display multiple models or objects into single view page. Django web tutorials. After that, I'm adding horizontal line. Now after the horizontal line, I'm adding h4 tag, which is a employee table, the first model 1, horizontal line. Let's create a table with a border is equals to 1. Now this table contains the table headers. Let's add that one, table headers, employee ID, table header, employee name, table header, email. How many properties we have? The columns 3 are there. So last one is a salary. Table headers, salary. Then I'm adding percentage to fetch the records from the views into this model, into this view page, index view page. I'm using for loop for data display data emp data. It's an object emp data. In I'm adding my class name, which is a model name emp tab object. Paste here. Let's close this for loop with end for. Then let's create the tr table data. The table data between double quotes, double curly brackets, the data we're getting from this object emp data dot id and next td again between double curly brackets emp data dot. Let's add our the column names in the models emp name td between double curly brackets emp data dot email td again between curly brackets double curly brackets emp data dot salary. That's it. We have written the code to display the first module. Now the second one, again add the horizontal line and h4 tag, student table which is the model 2 horizontal line. Instead of creating the table, I'm just copying this the about table just for the time saving, and I'm changing the object name. Instead of emp data, I'm adding st data, which is a student data, and I'm deleting the model 1 class name. I'm adding the more student object, which is the second model name. Then student data, copy this one, paste here, student data. The property names is student name, copy this one, student name, student email, and student address, copy this one and paste here. And also we need to change the table headers also, student id, student name, email and address. That's it. We have done the complete coding part. Let's save this file. Now the most important step, open settings.py. Now in the settings.py, when we want to render the HTML pages in the browser, come to the template section in the settings.py and notice in the DRLRS attribute, I'm joining this templates folder, which contains all index.html templates with the base directory. So os.path.join method base directory, comma, between double single quotes I'm adding templates. This folder name I'm adding. Now let's save this file. Save all. And now we need to configure the URL also. So open urls.py. Let's configure the URL. If you notice the URL patterns, the default path is the admin. So what I'm doing, the path between single quotes. Now our home page is this one because I'm not adding any URL link here, comma. Our index.html page is we are getting from this view page. If you notice here, I have added our index.html page to render this with the help of this function name. So I'm copying this function name, views.mmsv, and also we need to import the views also. Import views. Let's save this file. After saving the all file, the project, now come to the command prompt. Now let's run the server. Enter. Now after we run the server, notice we don't have any issues. Now switch back to the browser. In our admin panel, Django administration, notice the view site. I'm opening the view site in a new tab. Right click the mouse, open link in new tab. Now our default page is the index.html. So notice here, oops, here something went wrong. If you check, they missed the curly brackets. Actually, I have added this double curly brackets, but when I pasting this data, the eraser. That's it. Now let's save this file. That's it. Let's save this file again. Save all. Now I'm reloading the browser. Enter. Oops, again. Save all. Sorry for that. So here are the two models, the model 1 and model 2. They are calling from these objects the table names, first table name and second table name, displayed in a single view page. That's it.